Hello traders, Vito Forex here. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. So today we shall be looking at psychological levels and static levels. Psychological levels, like the term suggests, these are things to deal with the human mind. So psychological levels are those levels that are perceived within our minds to be significant. Likewise, the static levels. So today's episode will mainly focus on psychological and static levels. How important are they when it comes to market analysis? How best can we use them in our favor? Using psychological levels or static levels is just a component of support and resistance, whereby it's these levels where we tend to get our key support and resistance levels. So static and psychological levels help us have the highest probability support and resistance levels, in turn which makes our trading more and more simplified. Remember, we need to have our chart clear and very precise. Without applying psychological levels or without applying static levels, we shall be having very many support or resistance levels to think about. But as soon as we apply them, the chart will be a little bit clearer, and you tend to filter out and get only the key support or resistance levels. This is our platform. I encourage you to like, share, subscribe, and always hit that notification bar so that you keep notified whenever we have any update. Let's stick around and see what psychological levels are. Let's go to the chart and see what psychological levels are. Okay, for example, on this chart you can see we are currently on the British pound US dollar. So psychological levels, these are just figures that we perceive within our minds to be useful. So psychological levels or static levels, these are just price levels perceived as significant by traders. This is often due to the round numbers, which usually act as key support or resistance levels, like we shall see. So typically these levels are round numbers ending with a 00 or a 50. So those levels with a 00. So when you look on the right, when you go to your chart, your trading view, and you look on the right side, you will see those figures, those exchange rates. Okay, so when you look at those exchange rates, those ending with 00 are what we call psychological levels, and those ending with the 50 are what we call the static levels. Traders tend to anchor their decisions around these levels, leading to increased selling and buying pressures when prices approach them or surpass them. Okay, so let's go to the chart and have and look at it deeply so that we understand what these psychological levels are, how best can we use them in terms of market analysis. So for example, right now we're on the GBP USD. You can see that look at these levels here on the right. So let's apply a horizontal line on each of the static levels, or the psychological levels slowly. So I'll fast forward this so that we are able to have it in the shortest time possible. So we go on applying this. Okay, we go on applying it. Okay, let's fast forward this so that we have it clear. So let's fast forward this. Okay, so we already have our static levels and psychological levels drawn, like you can see. Okay, so from this point, let's then determine the key support or resistance levels. Like we all know, when it comes to identifying key support or resistance levels, always zoom out so that you have enough data to compare with. Okay, so for example, there is this level that very well. So you can see that at this level, price used this as a support level. So basing off the static level, you can see it here. Okay, you can see it here. So this is what we mean by static levels. Okay, furthermore, there is this level also that makes things a little bit more easier, as you tend to focus on those on those levels where price has reacted. Okay, so we tend to go with those ones so that we avoid the noise, excess noise which could come up from not having these levels. There's also this one, it's also important, very important. This, so you can go back in time and try to look at this, give it time, draw those levels. So I realized this, that it can even help you in terms of setting your stop loss and your take profit. It makes everything a little bit easier so that you don't have now to struggle so much. So this is static levels, and use them to identify our key support or resistance levels. Furthermore, we could go back in time and try to have very many examples as we can. So there is also this level which was using it previously. Okay, so we can see this now, like the way we applying previously, the way we applying our support and our resistance levels, nothing changes. Although this time around we focus on those levels where price has reacted to. Okay, so those are the levels we consider, and those are the levels we go with. Okay, like for example these ones that I'm illustrating here. So often the way we trade the normal support and resistance is the way we trade using these psychological levels. Nothing much changes. Okay, now some other thing is about psychological levels. They can also help you in terms of identifying retracements. So you can identify retracements earlier. Okay, you can identify retracements earlier, and also applying a Fibonacci tool, it becomes a little bit easier when you're applying a Fibonacci tool. For example, at the point where we have so many weeks, okay, I'll try to get you an example that psychological or static level. For example, supposing I'm intending to apply my Fibonacci tool around this, applying it, what we do, you pull the psychological level. Okay, so this will in turn make it easier for you to identify your possible retracement areas. For example, you can see how price was reacting to this Fibonacci retracement to help you then. And sometimes when you apply your Fibonacci tool, it could be challenging now to get the right entries. Okay, but when you use these psychological levels, there is a way it brings things into a much simpler form. So this is basically how we apply our static levels and psychological levels. We can use them together with our other analysis methods, just to help us know which possible areas are we expecting a reaction from. Okay, so this is something that is you will see. So when you go back in time, you will see, try to follow this. I can urge you to have at least 1 month. Okay, so you can see this level here, price using it very well. So it turns out to be a very good support level. Like you can see how price was reacting to it. So you can go back and look at this, give it time, take 1 month without doing anything, just observing what price is doing. Okay, basing on psychology, and you would then go to appreciate. So sometimes we could use these psychological levels, like I said, to place your stop loss and place your take profit. For example, at the point of entry, okay, supposing you're intending to look at this. For example, let's take this. For example, we were to take our buy entries here. So we could place our stop loss. Okay, you can place your stop loss at this level, just below the last low, like you can see, just below the last low, and place your take profit at the next possible key levels. You could set it in partials and also take profit number 3. So you'll be having a risk reward of 1 to 2.6. Okay, that's a good one. Or you could say, let me move it a little bit forward and place it at this level. So good for you. You could also say, I want to keep it tight, let me place it here. Okay, so good. So psychological levels can also help you and also help you place the stop loss and take profit. Okay, like you can see using this example. So this is how we use psychological levels, and it is something very good, especially when you identify the support or resistance. Time, observe this price movement, give it time and see, appreciate what it can do for you in terms of entries, in terms of identifying trade management or risk management. So this is very good. If at all you want to explore and keep learning something about the Forex markets. Thank you. Please subscribe. You can share it with any other trader, and also hit the like button just for the cases of the YouTube algorithm. Like I said, our channel is just a growing channel, and it will be very good if at all you help us grow. Like, follow, share, and also don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. See you soon.